Hello there, this is Amanda Thickk on In the Thick of It. I want to talk to you about intimacy today. I will not pretend to be a relationship expert. That is not my specialty. I am not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, but I know a lot about sex and I know a lot about how to make it good. That is what I'm here for. So I do consider myself an intimacy expert, and within the context of relationships or somebody you're dating or whatnot, I understand what it feels like to be partnered with somebody and things are just not as exciting as they used to be. Maybe it's getting a little boring. Maybe you've had some problems and it's just not really happening. And so I have created a system to make it very easy to remember on how to ground yourself and fix these issues in the moment, right when you need it, without having to use too much brain power to do it. I created an acronym for this specific technique, and I'm going to call it the PACE method. So there's 4 steps. PACE, P, stands for presence. I think it's a given that we are distracted today. We always have our phones in our hands. We are always available. We are constantly distracted. I can't think of a person I've ever met that just goes without having any device, TV, music, anything for extended periods of time. I do remember growing up. I grew up in Utah, and it's a predominantly Mormon religion there. And a lot of time in that culture, Sundays was a day where there was no technology. They couldn't go with their friends. It was like a family day, a church day. No TV, no movies, no nothing. This is obviously back before cell phones, iPhones. And so it was a lot easier to do back then, where people were playing board games with their families, or they would just have dinner and hang out, play card games or whatever. It just sounds super archaic now. But the connection between people was just so much easier. Where today we are so lost in our technology, we are so distracted, we have so many things on our mind. The news is in our face constantly. We have access to information that's so quick and it bombards your nervous system so hard that you're kind of always buzzing with stimulation, with all these things that are happening around you. So it can be very easy to lose the sensitivity to having a connection with another person that you're with in that moment. What I've seen is this translates into relationships, with partnerships, within families. You see these dynamics breaking down because people are constantly distracted. They're not looking at each other, and they're not looking each other in the eye. They're not talking. So the reason presence matters so much is that you are reestablishing that connection, not just with your attention, but your nervous system. You need to rewire your body with that person's nervous system. Eye contact, not thinking about other stuff, not doing other stuff, not talking to each other while doing something. I have to do that all the time. I'm washing dishes, but I'm talking to kids or whatever. In our world, that sometimes we just have to do multiple things at once. But when you have lost a connection with somebody, and you are deeply trying to reestablish it, it's time to come back down to ground zero. It's time to just right here, right back in with your person, no distractions, looking each other in the eye, having conversations, diving into what's in their mind, what's on their heart, all of those things. Because our nervous systems need a rest and they need to re-engage with each other. And we are energetic bodies. So when I'm not just talking about your physical nervous system that's, under your skin, but also the energetic nervous system where you're reconnecting. It's in the New Age world, it's like an energetic cord. Imagine having a rope tied between you and another person. And the more disconnected you become and distracted you become, that cord weakens. So you're trying to reestablish that connection. Presence. The next letter in PACE, A, acceptance. Accepting that you are the way you are right now, and I want you anyway. For me, that's fun. That's a fun one because unless I'm on camera, I'm probably not wearing makeup. My hair is often in a bun with a pen stuck through it. So if somebody was like, "Rawr, I want you right now," I'd be like, really? Should I put on my lip gloss? Like, are you sure? If you can communicate to your person, like, hey, right now, right how you are, hottest shit ever, that person is going to feel validated. They're going to feel like, wow, I'm still beautiful to you, even like this. And maybe it's not, maybe you're like, oh, I know, like she does look better when, I know, but shut up. Just humor this, okay? You know that when she's home in a messy bun, she looks better when she's done up. Of course she does, but she's still hot with the messy bun. So make sure she knows that. And more than anything, make sure she feels it. It's not just what you say, it's how you look at her. A woman knows the way you look at her, she knows if you're being honest about that or not. So accepting her in all of her glory. There's that line in Bridget Jones' Diary where he says, I love you just the way you are. And she was like spinning on that one for days because she was like, how could he love me just how I am? What? She takes it to her friends. They're all talking about it like, really? He loves you just the way you are? Like, you're kind of a hot mess. And she's like, I know. But he was like, yeah, I know you're a mess. Like, you're still great. That's the point. Make sure she knows that. And of course, I know that I'm saying she, again, with the gender stuff, just interchange it. But I feel that most of the people who I talk to on the regular are men. So I want to communicate in a way where I'm kind of hitting my main demographic here. The third part in PACE, the C, communication, just being so clear. I know in porn, we don't talk a lot. It's just more like, ooh, yeah, like dirty talk, right? But in real life, it's like, there's been times I just felt like I was bossy. And I remember even later just being like, I'm sorry if you felt like I was just being really bossy. And the guy was like, no, it was great because you were helping me know what to do. And I was like, well, yeah, that was kind of the point. And I'm not trying to deliver it in a bossy, aggressive way. I know what you need to do. So I may as well try and help you. So that's what I'm talking about is the communication, and not just in the physical act, but also in everything leading up to it. Be really clear in the communication. What are the expectations? What are the non-expectations? Like, as far as we're just going to go into this and just see what happens. Or, I recently made plans with somebody and I'm like, okay, well, what? I don't know where we're going. Like, how fancy do I have to be? I don't have a lot of fancy clothes. I wear tank tops, for God's sake. Like, that's all I have. I was like, what are we doing? I said, on a scale from 1 to 10, how fancy are we going here? He's like, think like a 6 or a 7. And I was like, yeah, okay. So you could use that scale thing. This is done in sales a lot too. And a lot of you with sales backgrounds probably already know this. On a scale from 1 to 10, where are you? How close are you to saying yes on this? Right? It's a sales strategy. Use it in your personal life, in your intimate moments. Like, okay, as far as, date night, are we doing as far as like super casual on a 1 or a 2? Are we doing like a Netflix thing? Are we going out? Whatever the plans are, whatever is happening in the bedroom, communicate and don't be afraid to talk. And if you're afraid of hurting her feelings, this is a very tricky spot. So I'm going to navigate this as best I can in a generalized conversation. Obviously, each situation is unique. If you tend to be afraid to bring things up, let's say this is an extreme example. Let's say you've been wanting to have a threesome and you're like, she's never, right? Maybe you can't even imagine your partner saying yes to that. So you don't even want to ask her, but let's just say for the sake of conversation that you do want to ask. And how would you ever bring that up without like upsetting her? Don't ever go directly in. You'll regret it for life. Don't do that. You have to finesse it to take a temperature. Okay. You're still trying to be clear, but what I'm trying to give you is the workaround without being offensive to her, but also working towards communication. I would start with the questions on, how are you feeling about our sex life? Like, do you feel like there's more things you want to do? Are you happy with it? On a scale from 1 to 10, as cheesy as it might be kind of a funny conversation. Like, is there anything I can do? Is there anything I can bring to the bedroom that you would want me to do for you? Frame it like you're doing something for her, because you are. You are. That's the reason this works. It is genuine. Obviously, you're doing it for yourself too. But that's the whole point, is when she's happy, you're doing that for you because you want to be happy too. So it's like a, win-win, everybody. So frame it like this whole thing is about making her happy. And what else could we do? Is there any other ways that you've been wanting anything? And what if it's just all like, well, no, everything's fine. No. Be like, okay, I've just been wanting to do something a little different, or like spice things up. I'm just not really sure what to do. What do you think about that? Let her lead this conversation. Because if you present something to her that freaks her the fuck out, that's going to go sideways really fast. So let her guide the conversation to letting her make choices so that you can see where her head is. Because if you're just like, yeah, let's bring somebody else to the bedroom, she might freak out, right? It could just be like, what else can we do? And she's like, nothing, I'm happy. And just be like, okay, I thought it would be fun to, try something different and whatever, because I would like to spice things up for myself as well. And I just want to see what ideas you have, or can we try something different next time we are together? Whatever. Actually, from there, I'll just jump straight to E in PACE, which is exploration, exploring, trying new things, right? So in this scenario, let's try new things. I want you to choose what those things are, because I don't want to bring up something that's going to upset you. I wouldn't want to say anything that's going to be offensive to you. So I really want to know what you would be into. And maybe she'll surprise you. Maybe it'll be something super chill and not really that risque. Or maybe it'll blow your head off. Oh my God, I can't believe she just said that. It could go anywhere. But bring the idea and the energy of curiosity to the conversation. And don't do this in the bedroom when you have just done the act or are about to do the act. Do this in a location that's not so emotionally charged. Do this before you get into that. Be in a different room. Be in the kitchen. Be in the living room after watching a TV show. Something that's not in a setting that's going to leave a mark, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's like we had this charged conversation and now I'm back in the room and now it reminded me of it again. Don't do that. Go somewhere neutral and really just be clear. So presence, be there, focus, no distractions. Acceptance, she's beautiful as she is. It doesn't matter if she didn't take a shower yet. I know some of you just went, ew. Hey, look, do you want things to get better or not? Calm down. See, communication, be as clear as you can, but do your best to let her lead in the idea sector. Just create the conversation, create the path for her to meander down and see what she comes up with. And E, exploration, just be curious and be willing to try stuff. Occasionally you're going to be in a situation where she's kind of locked down and it may have taken a long time to get to that point. For a lot of women, the problems start in the emotional stuff, and it usually is stuff you wouldn't even think of. She said yes to doing stuff that she didn't really want to do, and now she's got a little bit of an attitude, but she's trying not to be one of those girls who's got an attitude, so she's kind of squashing it, but she still has kind of a energy, and she's I'm not in the mood. Do you see where that just, her one little moment of turned into I don't want anything from you? And that can build up over years. That can build up over time. It can turn into a loss of attraction. I will share something very personal that I was in a relationship for 10 years, and this happened to me twice, and it's kind of shocking that this happened to me. For an entire year, I couldn't have an orgasm. A whole year, 12 calendar months. Same partner, same techniques, same stuff, having sex like every day, not having orgasms for a year. And then it came back and I was like, yay, I'm so happy. And then like it happened again for like another year. And I was like, why is this happening? I was so upset. I mean, especially me. Are you serious? Like I lost my orgasm for 2 years, 2 separate occasions, but like a whole year at a time. It was the same person. It was the same things that had always worked at one time just suddenly stopped working. And it stopped working for a long time. And I didn't give up hope. I'm like, okay, it'll work this time. No. Okay, it'll work this time. Nope. Now, an orgasm has never been my end game. I have never engaged in that for that purpose. I just haven't. Like, that's not how I am. I enjoy the whole experience, whether that happens or not. So I genuinely just enjoy the process, which is why I was still having sex every day. Because I'm like, well, I'm not having an orgasm, but like, I still like this. So maybe it'll be today. Maybe this is the lucky day. For 12 months, it sure wasn't. And the only explanation that comes to my mind is that it was emotional. It's the only thing that makes sense because we were having a lot of problems and I was mentally turned off. And so I couldn't. There's something that Ava Devine says. Love her. She likes to fuck the man and then fuck his mind. And you really have to do it that way for things to stay connected. So when you're losing the spark, it's her mind is somewhere else, guys. Her mind is somewhere else. So you might be able to fuck her in her body, but she's somewhere not there. You have to reconnect with her mind, which is why the communication, which is why the presence, which is why accepting her how she is. Maybe she has a lot of body issues and as self-esteem stuff, confidence. A lot of women are uncomfortable with their bodies during sex. Some women are thinking about how fat their thighs are when they're having sex. Some of them are thinking, oh my gosh, my stomach. They're really doing this. I've had conversations with women and I'm like, really? You're really thinking that while you're in the act? Yes, they are. What? My heart breaks for them because nobody gives a shit about that except for them. Their man certainly doesn't. Ladies, if there's any ladies listening, please, he doesn't care. I have the biggest bonsai I've ever had. This big old mamma jamma I'm carrying, it's a cookie pack right here in the front. I got it. And it's and guess what? They don't care. They want that. Why? I don't know. I guarantee yours is probably smaller than mine. And if it's not, you know what? There's a whole other category of men who that's their jam. I'm telling you, everything, ladies, that you're complaining about, there are throngs of men out there who love it. And I did that voice change was because there's so much passion. They love it. I'm telling you. And if there's a guy who's like, you know that thing, your body, like, you know what, guys, if you're doing that, fuck off. You don't deserve her. If this is about her health, hey, mamacita, let's go to the gym together. I care about our health together. It's not about her body and it's not about her health. It's not just about her. It's about us as a team. Let's grow old together. Let's hit the gym and do some shit. Let's go sign up for a 5K. Whatever. Don't do it because you don't like her stomach. Those guys, no. I know my fan base is not those guys. Let's just start with how I look. My cookie pack in the front, okay? None of you listening are like that. So those guys can fuck off. But ladies, if you have a guy like that, he can fuck off. You are beautiful. There are tons of men who want you just as you are. And all the guys who are listening to this, who want to re-engage with their partner or their girlfriend, the wife, whoever, they're listening to this saying, yes, I do accept her. She is beautiful to me. Like, it's just reminding her of that again. She forgot. Re-engage her mind by being present, put the phone down. One of the reasons that long-term relationship that I had deteriorated is we would sit down to have conversations and his eyes are closed. And I was like, hello, I'm right here. Hello. Are you falling asleep while we're trying to talk? What's happening? And it wasn't like it was just a timing thing, because I tested it. I was like, is it just, he just is tired after work or something, or he got home from like whatever the timing of this is, maybe he just needs a little rest and then I'll talk with him later. It didn't matter. It was just like that all the time. We're in the middle of a conversation, eyes closed. Listen, eye contact, I hope you're all listening. Eye contact. You have no idea how far you'll go with that. Not just in the bedroom, but in life. This is something I'm trying to teach my kids. You have to look people in the eye. I don't trust somebody if I can't look them in the eye. Why are you being squirrely? Why can't you look me in the eye? What's up with you? What's happening? Why are you uncomfortable? If you're uncomfortable, something's going on because you're uncomfortable because you can't look me in the eye. This is a real thing. So those of you who look people in the eyes, you know what I'm talking about. And so your woman who is mentally checked out, does she still look you in the eye? Or is she always busy doing something else? So she's too busy to look you in the eye. I have to remind myself to do that with my kids at times, where when they're talking to me, and if I'm washing dishes or I'm cleaning or I'm doing laundry or something, I have to remind myself at times to like, oh wait, I need to just stop and look them in the eye once in a while. Like, because I do still have to do things. The house still has to get going. I still have to run a household here. And I need them to know that they're important enough to me that I can stop what I'm doing at times and just engage with them. Sometimes just those few minutes that you can give to somebody and deeply engage with them, stare them in the eye and really give them all of your attention and your effort and your presence, you are creating roots in that relationship. You are creating a soul connection in that relationship. That can reawaken the mind, that can reawaken the body, that can re-engage your nervous system, that can open up that vein of curiosity and exploration and communication. And now you are in the land of intimacy again. And it doesn't have to just be sexual, but if it is mental, it becomes sexual. So especially for those relationships that are tired, the relationships that are kind of stale, the ones where it's like you feel like you're not really getting what you need right now. Put your heart into rekindling that. I'm telling you right now, if you were to walk away from that situation, it's not really that much better in the land of singledom. I know this. It's worth putting that effort, and you know that. And if you are single, you still know what I'm talking about because you've been through these situations too. So I'm not excluding any of you who are single by any means. But this is how you do it in friendships. This is how you do it in relationships. This is how you do it with networking. I think that's why I love this podcasting platform so much. It gives me an opportunity to invite people on, to learn more about them, kind of the peek behind the curtain situation where I can see more about who is this person that we all think we know, who we see on our screens all the time, but who is it really? How did you get here? Why should I give a shit? Oh, you're really cool. You're kind of amazing. That is what I'm here for. And I want your relationships to have that kind of value. I want your connections to be that good. And again, the conversation about this was really starting with cultivating intimacy in your relationships, and if they're kind of boring in the bedroom at this point. But you can apply these techniques to any relationship. This is like a relationship upgrade in life, regardless of who it is. But let me take you back to your bedroom. You will be a rock star in the bedroom when you can really engage with her or him. Again, interchangeable. Mix and match the genders, please. And you can be a powerhouse in relationships and intimacy and in the bedroom. So I'm going to continue to teach things like this. I am in the process of creating digital products. I already talked about them, but I'm editing a podcast and I'm performing and I'm doing a whole lot of things. So the process is a little slow right now, but it's coming. So I will, in the meantime, be teaching these strategies and these things in my podcast. Please share any questions you have. Subscribe, follow, let me know what other things you want me to talk about, any questions that I can answer. I would love to bring that to the next episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in the thick of it.